Hey, hey, hey! Woo! We
Right.
are live here on Facebook. Not on Facebook, on YouTube. We are live. My name is Rynette Upson-Bush. We are here with the next level conversations. I'm so excited and so ignited, and we are on fire today. We are excited. We have real, authentic conversations that help you go to the next level. And so tonight I'm here with my super friends, my special guests. But before we get started, we got to set the room off. We got to set this thing off right and get started. We are on fire and we want you to be that way too. So here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Yes. On fire. On fire.
Yes. Yes. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes. Woo. 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 Yes. Woo. Yes. We always got to start off right. We got to start off right. We got to set the thing off. So I am just so excited tonight to have you all here. I'm getting ready to go on my page. My name is Rynette Upson-Bush. And again, this is Next Level Conversations. And I have my super friends here. They are also authors in this great book, which is called Girl, Get Up and Move. And we'll be talking about things from this book because we want people to be able to get up and move and to go to their next level. So many people are kind of, stuck now. We outside now. The pandemic is over. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, what do I do? We're going to get up and move. And so we're going to talk about some things of how you can get up and move. But I first want to start with introductions. I want to introduce my super friends, my beautiful guests, these wonderful, smart entrepreneurs and authors. I want to introduce them to you. So we will first start off below me with Beth Willis.
Hey, Rynette. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
My name is Lisa. Hey, I'm Beth Willis. I am an author and a speaker. And I participated in Rynette's first anthology, which is Girl Get Up and Move. My chapter is on page 25. It's Perfectly Imperfect. But I'm also the author of The Bounce Back from Heartbreak to Wholeness, as well as I created a workshop to help women heal from heartbreak and heal better, not bitter. And that is the Bounce Back Workshop. And I also give tips on wellness at Bounce Back Tips with Lisa. And I am so looking forward to this conversation tonight on Perfectly Imperfect. And again, with Girl Get Up and Move, because regardless of what we go through, we have to continue to move. So thank you, Rynette, for having me tonight. I so appreciate it.
Woo-woo! One time for Beth. Yes.
Yay.
Right. My next super friend, I welcome Taynia Mosley. Woo!
Hi, everybody. I am Taynia Mosley. I am an author and a life coach. You can find most of my stuff at destinedwithapurpose.com, where I went into life coaching because I had a bad relationship with a bad divorce. So I wanted to help women heal from brokenness and heal, their broken. I empower, uplift, and help you get back on the right track with love.
You're kind of breaking up just a little. We didn't hear the last part.
Oh no. Whoop, I don't know where I stopped at. I'm here to help women heal and their brokenness through bad relationships. Sometimes we get stuck and stagnant and don't want to even face the world. So there is life after divorce. There is life after a bad breakup. There is life after bad situations. You just have to know how to deal with it and, move forward. So that's what my coaching does. And I am also a part of this great book, Girl, Get Up and Move. And yeah.
Yes, girl, get up and move, even after that divorce. And y'all, I think that's something that we need to be talking about, like during this time, as well as we go and we talk about the different chapters. So, yes. Next, we have Jackie Wilson. Woo-hoo-hoo! Jackie! Yay!
Hi, everybody. My name is Jackie Wilson. I am also an author in this book, Girl, Get Up and Move. I'm also an author of From Concrete to Cupcakes. I own a food truck here in Orlando, Florida. The reason why I wanted to do this is to help people. When I went through my divorce, I kind of got depressed and I tried to do some things to myself. So I tried to commit suicide, but it wasn't a planned out thing, but it did happen. So again, I'm excited to be here and excited to share my story. And thank you, Rynette, for this great opportunity.
Woo-hoo! We're going to get more into that. I first want to introduce myself. My name is Rynette Upson-Bush, aka the Purpose Pusher. I am the CEO and founder of the Next Level Nation and Next Level Chicks, where I push you on purpose for the purpose of walking in your purpose and your destiny. We all have purpose. We all have destiny. And my assignment from God is to help you to get in alignment for your assignment so that you can walk in what God told you to walk in. Because if you're not walking in what he told you to walk in, if you're not doing your assignment, you will never live the life that you were meant to live. So that's what I do. So as we get into this conversation, next level conversations, we are going to be pulling again from this great book right here, Girl, Get Up and Move. And if they don't have it posted on their timeline, they will have it posted on their timeline. If you don't have this book, make sure you get this book. We are on Clubhouse every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 4:30, also discussing the book. But we're going to have some serious, like, next level conversation. And so with that being said, the chapter that was written by Lisa Beth is called Perfectly Imperfect. And so I just want Lisa Beth, if you would give us a small, synopsis of this chapter, and then I'm going to be asking you all questions about being perfectly imperfect, because I'm sure some of you all have been there before. And we need to dispel any myth about you're not good enough, like you're not enough, and you have everything it takes. So we definitely want to talk about this as we go through tonight. So Lisa Beth, if you can give us a synopsis.
Yes, absolutely. Again, my chapter is Perfectly Imperfect. And in the chapter, I write about a time in my life where I thought I had pretty much made it. Not made it fully in terms of success level, but made it in terms of being on the right path. And it was on that path that I was presented with a choice. I could have continued on the path of working with the contract firm I was working on, as well as putting more efforts into my entrepreneurship journey and my callings as an author and a writer, etc. Or I could have taken a position in a higher level position within corporate America, which was familiarity. It was comfort. I've always been one of those people. I have to have a certain level of security. And like these other ladies spoke, it's very interesting. We're all divorced. And we all went through a stage where we hit rock bottom, and God brought us through and healed us, and we're better, not bitter. So that was my journey too, ladies. So at the point where I had this choice, I had already gone through doing my self-work, healing. I'd published my first book, The Bounce Back from Heartbreak to Wholeness. I was doing my workshop, helping other women heal and talking. And on the speaker circuit, one of my mentors allowed me and a few other ladies that she mentored to launch our speaking platforms nationally using her platform. And so I was on fire. But when the choice came, had this big offer with the company that I wanted to be with for years, and that offer came. But yet my energies and I was at peace and happy doing this, but not making as much money yet. Notice I said yet, but I made the choice to go with what was comfortable, with what was familiar. And as a result, it seemed that everything that could have gone wrong almost went wrong. It was setback after setback, setback after setback. So in the synopsis, or in the chapter that I wrote in the book, I talk about that choice. And I talked about, one of the issues was I had 2 concussions within 6 months, new on the job. Right. So I went through forgetfulness. I had to go through brain mapping. I had to go through cognitive and physical therapy. I had to do a lot because of the injuries, in addition to just a whole lot. Just nothing seemed to go right. But God, in his grace and his mercy, he meets us where we are, and he gives us another chance. So thankfully, around the time when Rynette launched this book, I consider this my relaunch with my writing. I'd done other projects over the past few years, but it wasn't on the level that I was. But this was one way to get me back going. But in the meantime, in the book, I asked the reader, what will be your choice when you're presented with, an opportunity for comfort and familiarity, and what looks like it's what you've been wanting versus your calling, and it's just not there yet, but in your heart, if you persevere, it's going to be there. What will you choose? Will you choose comfort and familiarity, or will you stay in the call? And so I went with familiarity, and I continued on perfectly imperfect. And I'm still in that journey of development and of growth, but I can feel my spirit just being overwhelmed with God's grace. And I look forward to what's coming in the call, and as I continue to grow in what he has for me to do. So that kind of sums it up quick, perfect on this journey. Yes.
Thank you. So I want to read something that you wrote before I start talking. It says, we're told all things work together for good to those who love the Lord. But when we've experienced a level of personal hell, it's never easy to embrace the challenge and just be still. So with that being said, like you said, I want to talk about familiarity and these familiar spirits that we all get stuck in. And it is so amazing. I don't know what to say amazing, but the fact that you 3 are all divorced, I mean, I guess there should have been a specific name, and we might have to bring y'all back so we can dive more into that, because I'm sure that many women would want to hear what you have to say, hear more about your story and stuff, so that they can get up and move. But what you just told us your story, Lisa, of how you chose familiarity instead of choosing to move forward. What makes you choose familiarity? Why do you feel like you have to choose that instead of moving forward? So Lisa Beth told us what she did and how she went through a personal hell because she chose to do that. Taynia, have you been stuck? And Taynia, I don't know what's I'm going through. Taynia, have you been stuck in a situation where you just decided to go with what's familiar instead of choosing a better path or a next level? And how did that turn out for you?
Yeah, that's almost been the story of my life. Just because it's comfortable. You always go back to or reflect upon what is comfortable for you, and it always feels good until you're up against the grain, and that's when you just have to make a change. It's been many situations. In fact, I don't really go into my divorce story, but if you read my story, it's about not being, not staying stuck and stagnant. You have to get up. Everything starts with a choice. Like, you have to get up and make a decision that that's no longer what you want to be involved in. That's no longer what you want to do, that you want to move on and progress, and grow, because sometimes going back to familiarity, I can't even say it. Yeah, that.
Tricky word.
Sometimes going back there, it stunts your growth, your progress, because you're not doing nothing to go forth or, move forward. because you're going back to the spot where you once were before. So there is no going forth. So once you learn that and you make that decision, that's when all the, the energy comes about for me. So I just, like, even I said I was divorced, I had to make a decision to divorce. I was married for 10 years, and I grew up in a church and nobody around me was divorced. I'm the first person in my family that got a divorce. So it was a very hard decision, and I believe that's why I stayed for so long. But I had to make that choice and finally choose me first.
Amen.
So that I can no longer stay stuck and walked upon. Like, I had to make a decision, and that's the hard part for a lot of people, is to finally choose them or make a choice.
Yes. We didn't hear the last part, but like she said, you have to make a choice. So as you're watching in the audience and you come back to the replay or whatever, what have you been sitting in and not made a choice? What's familiar to you that you keep sitting in that's stunting your growth, that's not allowing you to move forward? And as we're up here with our next level conversations, in the audience, as you're watching this every week, I want you to figure out, what can I do different? What can I do to move forward? How do I get to my next level? Find something to take away from this that's going to help you grow and get to another level. And when you sit in familiarity and comfort, nothing happens in those zones at all. So you must move forward. So Jackie, with that being said, tell us about how you got stuck or what familiarity did in your life.
Well, for my life, I had to make a decision I felt like I was drowning. And so I had to make the choice to move forward. So I got into the things of God. And also I got under a mentorship that could help me, guide me through, to make the right decisions, because I was in that familiar area and I wasn't going anywhere. So I had to make the decision, either I'm going to swim or I'm going to drown. And I chose to swim. And so from there, I moved from Michigan to Florida to change my whole surroundings, and get a fresh new start. So that's what I did.
Absolutely. And so while you're talking about that, so many people feel like, especially us as people of color, we're getting better about therapy, getting help, getting mentorship. But, we got stuck in, I know I got stuck in, my mom told me what happened in the house then. So, even as I got out of her house, I was still, what happened in the house, stay in the house. So I was in these bad relationships and they weren't good. And because I didn't want to leave, I wanted to leave, but I didn't want to leave. I wanted to leave, one foot in, one foot out, back and forth, up and down, because it was familiar. Then, of course, you want everybody, you want you with your baby daddy and all this kind of stuff. And so we get stuck in so many of these things. And so a lot of people talk about this stuff, but that's all they do is talk. And I try to tell people, one of the familiar things that we like to do, and this was our conversation today on Clubhouse, we love to come back and talk about what they said. Who is they? See, too many people get stuck in they, and every time you try to tell them or they want to tell you their situation, they said, but I mean, we have to make a decision to move out of that familiarity, because when we stay in a situation of they said, we're standing on lies instead of standing on the truth. We're standing in a stuck, stale place, stuck, stale, and stagnant, and we're not moving forward. So how do you move from those familiar places? That's what we have to do, and that's what Lisa Beth did. That's what Taynia did. That's what Jackie did. They finally decided, I'm going to draw a line in the sand, and I'm going to move past it. I'm not going to stay in what they said. I'm not going to continue playing this over and over in my head and not moving forward. And that's what too many people do. You got to get out of your head, okay, and get into action. You got to do what this book said, girl, get up and move. And until you get up and move, nothing changes if nothing changes. We've heard this over and over, but we continue to sit in the situation when we need to move forward. So, Jackie, your story was a fresh start. And so you moved all the way down here from Michigan.
Yes.
To Florida. And I know that was really a hard decision. I'm sure you probably got a lot of pushback. I'm sure you probably got a lot of like, you shouldn't do this and that kind of stuff. What made you really move forward to take that leap, and have that fresh start instead of listening to what they said? And one of the things I want to talk about that you all have probably dealt with when Jackie was moving, when you were trying to come out of your divorce, I'm sure that in that situation, you probably were talking to somebody that was in your same situation. And that's one of the things, somebody that was in a bad relationship, somebody when you don't have money, you're talking to people that's broke. How can those people that's in your situation, they broke, they busted, they disgusted, they still stuck, stagnant. We're not talking bad about them, but we talking the truth. My question is, why do people continue to talk to people that's not going to be able to help them? Because when we talking to people like that, we can't grow. We can't move forward. So how did you get yourself out of listening to and being stuck? Because that person only going to pull you back down.
Well, really, I really didn't have that many people giving me no advice. It was really me that was holding myself back. I was saying, what will people think? What will people say about me? Because I'm kind of a people person and care about what other people say. So that's what was really eating me up. It wasn't no feedback or, my sisters didn't want me to move, and my kids told me I had to do what was best for me. So it was me, even though I came down here, it was just a fresh start. Some people did say, well, you just moving, because I did move down here with my pastors now. So they were saying I was moving down here with a cult, but it wasn't. It was for me to get a fresh start in a new surrounding and stand in a small town where I came from, where everybody really know you and people just assume. And I just didn't want to stay there because I wouldn't have grown any like I have now, or I just couldn't do it.
Absolutely. So are you at a different level? Have you grown from this move from you not listening to people, not being a people pleaser? What has that done for you?
Well, in some incidents, I still, at different times, I believe I'm still a people person. But what I have realized that I have to put Jackie first. I have to think about my well-being, and because I'm not getting any younger, so I have to learn how to love me. If I don't love me and take care of me, then I won't be able to take care of nobody else.
Absolutely. So putting yourself first is not being selfish. A lot of people say it is, but it's being selfless. Because I posted last week, or maybe Sunday, when you choose to put yourself first, you can help others better. Too many of us want to help from a broken space and place, and that's not what we want to do. That's not where we want to go. So by you stepping out, Lisa Beth, and doing something different instead of staying in that stuck, stale, familiar place, where's your life today? Because you made that decision.
Rynette, can you hear me okay, Rynette? For some reason, I am having some technical difficulty. I don't know what's wrong. Can you hear me okay?
I do.
Okay, now I have you again. I couldn't hear.
Wow, I'm not sure what's going on with her audio, but let's go to Taynia. Taynia, what has your life been like since you decided to move from that place of familiarity and step out and say to yourself, girl, I got to get up and move? What has happened in your life?
Oh man, it's been the one word I would say is elevation for me. I'm more of a background in the back person. I don't like to talk and communicate, but I am actually coaching other women and helping other people, which makes me feel better on the inside. I'm in a better relationship. I'm going on my 2nd year married. I don't know. Life just seemed, I'm just much more, I don't know, just more happy, just more vibrant. I guess that's the word.
Right. And sometimes when we make these decisions, it's scary. So
Yeah.
my thing is, a lot of people say you can't have fear and faith at the same time. I've heard it over and over. And I'm gonna come back to you, Lisa Beth, on the question. But who believes? Tell me your thoughts on fear and faith. Can you have both of them at the same time?
No, ma'am.
I think fear is what pushes me. Fear pushes me, so that I think you can have both.
Okay, Lisa Beth.
I don't think so, but I do think there's a battle for that top spot because we're human. Just like, and as I talked about in Perfectly Imperfect, the fear of not having enough pushed me towards that job that I had faith that I was going to get and do well in, that I have. I'm still there, actually. But that was continuing Perfectly Imperfect. And there's more to the, my part of that story. I can get into that further. But I think it's a battle. But I mean, there's a battle in the flesh and the spirit. So I think that's where fear and faith battle. So,
Right.
But I don't think that I guess you can have both, but there's a battle for that top spot, but not both simultaneously. One thing has to have your focus.
Okay. Jackie, your thought, fear and faith. Can you have both of them at the same time?
Well, I take it like this. I think you can. Because like for me, speaking now, I was a little fearful, but I have faith that I can do it,
Absolutely.
So that's how I look at it, like that.
Absolutely. I think a lot, like I said, a lot of people feel like, you know what, if you don't have faith, then you're fearing. But just like a lot of people say, if you worry, don't pray. If you pray, don't worry. But I mean, the bottom line is we are human. We have flesh. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna not do everything right. So because you worry, do you just stop praying? No, you don't. You continue to pray no matter what. So if you're fearful, you don't just stop having faith. You can operate, in my opinion, with fear and faith at the same time. You go ahead, fearful. I know when I was in the school system, I was there for 17 years, and to step out and decide that, you know what, I'm going to just leave my job. I don't have really anything that's telling me that this is going to work. I was very fearful, shaking in my boots, feeling nervous as all get out. But I had the faith to move on what I believe God told me to do. So I moved in fear, but I had the faith while I was doing it. So I think that you can, go and do both at the same time. You just have to decide to let your faith move you no matter what, even when you're fearful. Then people say, do it scared. That's a definite doing it scared. Okay, I'm scared, but you know what? I'm going to make a move. I was not designed to fail. I was not designed to quit. So guess what? I got to continue to move forward in fear. And so as you continue, action, momentum, girl, get up and move. When you have action and momentum, that removes a lot of the fear. Like Jackie said, when she was coming on here, she was kind of fearful, but she had faith. Now she's not on here now. I know, Taynia, you say, I don't really. So how do you feel now?
I feel good. I feel okay.
You don't feel the way you felt when you first got on here, right?
No, I feel much better.
Right. So because we're stepping into unfamiliar territory, a lot of times we are nervous, we are scared, we are fearful. So whatever, if the audience, if you're fearful, if you feeling like I can't do something, and people, well, you can't do it if you're gonna be fearful. That ain't no faith. That don't mean you don't have faith. All you gotta have is just a mustard seed, just a little tiny seed. I got way more than a mustard seed, and I know my God can do everything that He said He can do. He never gonna leave me nor forsake me. So I can move in the fear by using my faith. And y'all know they always have those shirts, faith over fear. You just have to decide. Fear, you're not gonna stop me. I'm stepping out in faith. So everybody has their own different beliefs, but I just wanted to kind of throw that question out to see how people felt or whatever. And I mean, everybody has something that they're nervous of. You're always going to be scared. That's going to be in your whole life. But we move forward in the scaredness, right? So how do you move forward? What is that called? Faith, right?
That's faith. Mm-hmm.
That's faith. So yes, you can. I hear people say it over and over, and I definitely like to dispute why you can do both of them at the same time. You can do both no matter what. So that's just my little thought on that, or whatever the case may be. So as we move forward and talk about Taynia's chapter is you are loosed. A lot of us are not loosed. A lot of us are bound. We are stuck. We are stagnant. We are scared. We are not moving forward. Let me let Jackie back on. We are not moving forward like we should. So we cannot allow ourselves. And Taynia says, have you ever felt stuck in life where you could not figure out for the life of you which way to go? Have you ever asked the question, why me, Lord? And a lot of times we like to sit and ask God, why me? But let's think to ourselves, let's not think why me. Let's think to the devil, try me, and to God, why not me? Choose me. Use me to be the example, the message, the story. I'm going to change the narrative. And so that's what y'all are doing here today, because you loose yourselves from your situations. We're going to kind of, you don't have to tell what you don't want to tell or whatever, but because you three are all divorcees or have been through a divorce and you are now loosed, can we talk about that or encourage somebody that's sitting in a situation, whether it's a divorce, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a boyfriend, whether it's just a situationship? I don't care what it is, but it's some type of ship. Even if you had a job and you know that you need to maybe do something, but you kind of stuck. Let's talk about how to get loose. Who wants to speak on that first? How can you get loose? What are some steps? We know we need to pray, and a lot of people pray, but they say, well, I still can't move. I'm praying, but. So what are some things we can do to loose ourselves, to move to
I'll tell you, I was married to a politician, so I was in a high profile marriage for my area, right? Mm-hmm. And it was on the surface, everything looks good because we know we keep our business kind of sheltered, right? As just humans. And for me, a lot of my growth, I can tell you, I didn't wake up one day and leave. I fasted and prayed my way out of that. I prayed my way out. At one point, I was on bed rest with my daughter for 4.5 months. And again, this is 11 years ago. She's 11 years old now. So, it wasn't like I just decided to go. It was a lot of faith, a lot of prayer, and listening to the Spirit and not listening to people. There were certain people, the pastor after I left, my pastor at the time, was encouraging me to stay because that, in my opinion, that's his job as a pastor, to try and keep some of the families together. But sometimes some things need to be let go of. And so it was a matter of me listening to my spirit inside of me and doing.
Boy, when you're talking about stuff that needs to be talked about, and it seemed like everything in the world trying to stop it. That's something that's supposed to be talked about. That somebody needs to hear what you're saying. And so many times people want to stop, or they quit, or they give up right in the midst of that thing. And y'all, every one of y'all, it's so crazy that every single one of you all, first of all three divorced. Every single one of you all have had technical issues. But see, this right here is a message and a word that needs to be heard. People need to see these three women that have been through hellified divorces. They still standing. They still walking. They still smiling. They didn't give up. They didn't quit. They didn't throw in the towel. They stood up, not gave up. What are you about to give up on in the audience that you don't need to give up on? Y'all see the devil, how he try to come and take over and do all kind of stuff? He's got to flee. And so that's what we know and understand. These women right here, they don't look like anything they've been through. So I asked them to kind of give a little brief synopsis on how they were loose. And y'all hear what she talking, technical difficulty. That's what happens when you try to step up and do better. Right before your breakthrough, right before your their time, that space and place that you're supposed to win, the devil gonna try his hardest to get you. But don't let yourself be stuck. Don't let yourself be still. Don't let yourself be silent. Lisa Beth was in the middle of telling her story and has had technical difficulties ever since. Now we're gonna try to let. Are you back, Lisa?
Yes, I'm back now. We're in the middle of a storm here, and I tell you, it's been a time. But to finish off what I'm saying, you know, it was prayer that got me through. The marriage needed to end. I think sometimes it just has to happen. And but as long as we don't stay stuck, right? We got to keep doing our work, and we have to heal. And that first step in healing is forgiveness. You know, number one, I preach this from the East Coast to the West Coast, wherever I am. If I'm talking about healing, the reality is we got to forgive. Number one, we need to ask God for forgiveness. And why is that? Number one, God still does hate divorce. Number two, you did something wrong in that situation as well. It's always two people. I can blame game all day long, but it always takes two. Number two, you need to forgive yourself. And number three, you need to forgive the other person. We take on a lot as women, and a lot of times we want to take care of everybody else, and we don't take enough care of ourselves. But as a part of our self-care, we do need to forgive ourselves so that we can move on and not carry the weight or the guilt and the impact that it may or may not have on our kids. That's a big deal. And then we got to forgive the other person for whatever, be it I don't know if there was abuse. I don't know if there was affairs. I don't know any of that stuff in anybody's situation. But regardless of that fact, regardless of what he may have done, you have got to forgive him in order to heal, because it's only in that healing that you can then sit still and be like, okay, all right, now what next? What's next? You need to remember who you were before the heartbreak. Remember who you were before the heartache. You were a whole person already. When we get into these situations where we're a little unbalanced, we think we're broken. But we're not broken, because God always made us whole, but we need healing. So we got to remember who we were and who he made us to be, and our calling, and seek God on that front, because then we launch. We launch after we remember and we've forgiven, and we're going through that process. And it is a process. Some are shorter than others, some are longer than others, but it won't start until you do the work and until you decide to forgive. And it's going to begin with a decision and your mouth. You may not feel it in your heart, but eventually those emotions will catch up, and that healing will begin, and you'll move on, and you can get up and move and launch.
Yes. So with that being said, we're going to take us a little celebration break, and then we'll come back with Taynia and Jackie and talk about how they loose themselves from that situation. And whatever situation you're sitting in now, whoever's watching now or the replay, it's time for you to loose yourself. So we're going to celebrate for just a moment here. And I need y'all home in the audience to get up and celebrate as well. So here we go. It's celebration time. Let's celebrate these lovely ladies for standing up, for going up, for glowing up, being next level, and loosening themselves so that they could be here tonight to show y'all, to be the example, the story, the message of how to get up and move. Get up and move. I want to go. Yeah.
Come on.
If you don't lose yourself from something, celebrate!
Party going on right here. A celebration lasts throughout the year. So bring your good times.
We gonna celebrate.
Hey!
Yes.
Everybody that's watching, we are here with Next Level Conversations. We are here talking to my super friends, Lisa Beth, Taynia, and Jackie. They have all been through the big D, divorce. And so instead of them getting bitter or staying bitter, they got better. They stepped up. They stepped out. And they decided to change their lives. So all of them are in a better place and a better space. And so with that being said, they came and they wrote this book, Girl, Get Up and Move. They wrote great chapters where they were very transparent and they told what was going on. So we just heard from Lisa Beth. She just told us what she did to lose herself. So next we'll go to Jackie and then we'll go to Taynia. What did you do to lose yourself, Jackie?
What I did to lose myself, I started a business. I just put myself in my business.
Business.
And I just decided that I was going to forgive. It wasn't easy, but I forgave and I just moved on. I decided life was worth living. Instead of sitting in that gravy, I wanted to make popcorn. I wanted to really pop in life instead of just staying there stagnant. So like I said, I started I went back to school, learned to do pastries a little better, and I just bought a food truck and moved on. We just kept on trucking.
Okay. She decided to pop. She made it pop. That is so awesome. Love it, love it, love it. We have to celebrate. I mean, sometimes things happen in life, but we can't stay stuck in it. Always find a reason to celebrate. I know people talking about her birthday was last week. My birthday was the whole month. I still got my crown on.
I know that's right.
Because I believe in celebrating. Don't let nobody tolerate you, and don't you just tolerate yourself. Celebrate yourself.
That's right.
Amen.
To be celebrated and not tolerated, okay? Not devastated, not all done in. And that's you got to get up and move. So with that being said, Taynia, how did you loosen yourself?
It took a minute, y'all, but I got it done. Like Lisa Beth said, I know everybody prayed, but I had to seriously pray and I had to really fast, and I did not release my marriage until I heard God tell me to. So that's when I went to go file for divorce. But what really got me through was writing, and I had to be on YouTube to listen to uplifting messages and all types of things and different church services. Like I just had to really get my spirit up because I was really low, really down. So it took a lot.
It took a lot. You did it.
Yes, I am here. I am up. I am motivated. Like I learned a lot in that season, and I promise in the darkness there was light because I learned so much by listening. Just listening. If you just open your ears and listen and receive, you can learn so much and bring your own stuff up out of your own, dark situations.
Absolutely. And Taynia is happily married 2 years now. So there is life after divorce. There's happiness. Stay stuck in our situation, and everybody may not want to get married again. You don't know. You have to do what is right for you. So again, there we don't want to listen to what they said. So those people that are watching in the audience, what do you need to loose yourself from? What have you been familiar with that you need to move away from? When we have these next level conversations, it's not just us talking, it's us talking to let you hear like what we've gone through. And if we can do it, guess what? You can do. So as you're watching next level conversations, we want you to figure out what is one action that you can take when you get off of this show to move forward to your next level, to help you to get up and move. Our big thing is, girl, get up and move. We don't want anybody still stuck and stagnant. We don't want anybody staying in the same place. And one of the things that I talked about, and I've been talking about this whole month, when you have a birthday, use that as a measuring stick, a measuring tool. Where were you this time last year during your birthday? And you don't even just have to wait for your birthday. When you think about June last year, the end of June, where were you? Are you better off now than you were then? Are you worse off? Are you moving forward? You have to constantly reflect. You have to constantly reevaluate and evaluate. And so many people are scared. They don't want to look. They don't want to face. If you can't face it, then you're not going to be able to really embrace it and move past it. So that's very, very important. So these ladies are all authors in the book, Girl Get Up and Move. And they had some great topics that will help you to move forward. And so we are coming on here. This is our second show. And I wanted to definitely bring these superpower women on who are part of this anthology, because it is changing lives. It is helping people to get up and move. And the pandemic is not over, but we're moving forward. We're getting back outside. And some people are looking like, huh? What? And they don't know what to do. You still stay stuck and stagnant and you're not moving. Girl, get up and move. We got to move. We can't talk about what was, what could have been, what should have been. Let's talk about what we're going to do now, how we can move forward. So with that being said, you have got to make up your mind to move forward, to get up, show up, go up. And so I'm just so excited that you all have been on here and given some awesome words and information that's helping people to get up, to move, to stand up, to show up, and figure out, hey, what can I do to go forward? Because so many times we don't want to move forward. But we got to. And these ladies are prime examples, wonderful examples on how to move forward and go to your next level. So we are here every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. We are also on Clubhouse. Like if y'all need some encouragement, some motivation, some inspiration, a journey of going forward, connect with these ladies. They are all great in their own right. They all have things and stories that will inspire you. Connect with me because we want to help you to get up and move. We don't want you to feel like, you know what, you got to do this by yourself. You never have to do this alone. Never have to do it alone. So get up, show up so that you can go up. You will never go anywhere sitting still, stuck and stagnant. I also want to put in a plug. I'm going to let all the ladies give, their business page, how to connect with them or whatever. If you have a business, if you're starting a business and you're ready to grow your business, you want to get connected to a great network. I am involved in a network of over 500,000 women that really connect, that really collaborate, really help each other move forward. Let me know, message me, inbox me, DM me, whatever, so that I can help you to get connected and get you into a great networking meeting, so that you could talk about your business and whatever business challenges you have. So I want to offer you that if you have a business and you think, or you thinking about it, you haven't started yet, I can help you with that. So Taynia, tell them where they can find you.
I am on Instagram, Facebook, Taynia Mosley, and YouTube, Taynia Mosley. And also my website is destinedwithapurpose.com.
destinedwithapurpose.com. Okay. Yes. Jackie?
Hi. I just want to say thank you, Rynette, for this opportunity again. I'm on Instagram as Eat My Treat. That's my business. I'm on Facebook as Jackie Wilson, or you can just Google me. Right now, I'm working on putting back up my website, but that's how you can get me.
Okay. And Lisa Beth?
Yes, I am on Facebook at Bounce Back Tips with Lisa. I also have a website that is lisabethwillis.com. You can follow me also on Clubhouse if there are any Clubhouse users out there at Bounce Back Tips with Lisa. And that's about it. And on IG as Lisa Beth Willis on Instagram. So Rynette, again, thank you so much for sharing your platform with us, as well as for the publishing opportunities that you offer women, because there are so many people who want to write. And one thing I saw just from going through that process with you the first time is that for those people who come, they have ideas, you help them actually develop and write their stories, which I thought that was just awesome, because a lot of people, they have so much that God put in them, but they don't have the skills like you and I, or maybe even the education like you and I, but you did take the time to see that through for them. And that's a beautiful thing. So thank you for what you're doing, because it is ministry, and we definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. I love what I do. I'm all about the next level and helping people to move forward. So if you want to move forward, if you're ready to bounce back, get loose, or eat some treats, okay? Y'all connect with us. These, as you see, are powerhouse women, always willing to help and do stuff. And y'all will be seeing us around, because this book, like I said, we're going to be on Clubhouse talking about this for the next, couple of months or whatever. But every time it's just so much gain from the room. So if you're not there Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 4:30, you're missing it, because it's really, really good. So I'm telling you, hop in. So we are getting ready to end, but we have a little celebration. Y'all know I'm a party girl. That's my word. I love the party. And I can't wait. I don't know if y'all know, or if I've ever mentioned this, but I have a nonprofit that is getting ready to start up already. It's called We Party with a Purpose. And so, because I love to party, okay, and it's going to be helping people to with different things, whether it's somebody that has a cancer or multiple sclerosis, whatever. I'll be looking for stuff, and we'll have a party to raise money, whether it be a ballroom party, whether it be a backyard barbecue, whether it be a cruise. Don't matter. We just gonna party with.
That's awesome.
My thing is to celebrate and help people to win. So that's another thing that I got coming down the pipe that I'm excited about, helping people to really move to that next level and win no matter what. We always need to remember, don't take one moment for granted. Don't feel like, I can't celebrate anyhow. I'm the one here. You would think, she could say that because she don't know. Baby, you don't know what I've been through. But guess what? We still got to show up and thank God. He will never leave us nor forsake us. So with that being said, we are through we count down, finishing up with episode 2 of Next Level Conversations. Yes! So we're going to put the music on, and we're going to dance our way up out of here. Yes. So let's go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm turning the music up.
Time to come together. It's up to you.
Special pleasure. If you're in the audience, get up and dance. Get up and dance. Celebrate. You living. You breathing. You have a roof over your head. And if you are in a space where you don't want to be, you can change it. Celebrate before it happens. Know that it's gonna happen. Woo! Always a party. Hey. It's always gonna be a celebration.
And have a good time too.
It's time.
It's time for us to come together.
It's your pleasure.
Everyone around the world. Woo! Yes, Jackie. Get up and move. You don't have this, you need to get it. Get it. Get it. Get it.
Come on, come on.
Yeah. I appreciate this group of women.
Thank y'all for celebrating with me. Thank you for everything that you all have done. I so appreciate it. We'll talk in a second. If you're watching this, please make sure you share it out. Tell everybody about this. If you were feeling down and sad, I bet you can't feel sad now. I bet you're glad. Not only did we have a next level conversation, but we celebrated. And I want you to always celebrate yourself. Don't ever allow yourself to just be tolerated. Don't allow people to tolerate you. If they don't celebrate you, celebrate yourself. Pat your own self on the back. Clap for your own self. And know that you deserve your next level every day and in every way. Make sure that you go to your next level. All right? And we'll talk to y'all later.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You got to surround yourself